Another world. I no go there. I no go there. What's like on the ways? I follow there. I no feel on the look with your face. I'm all there. You better take a fit go in your face. So I no go there. I no go there. What's like on the ways? I follow there. I follow there when one day. So no
Good afternoon, everyone. We'll be starting in a minute's time.
I'm all there. You better take a fit go in your face. So I no go there. I no go there. What's like on the ways? Mommy, blower, no good all over me, my dear. Baby, slow down, do not those are for your back. Draw me closer, make I down. Baby, slow down, no good all over me, my dear. I no go there, what's like on the ways. I follow there, I no feel on the look with the face. I'm all there, you better take the fit go in your face. So I no go there, what's like on the ways. Take on there, what's for your body, oh. My salvation, every father say it for your body, oh. If I'm a fire, my resurrection step for your body, oh. I see miracle walking body, oh. Everything there for your body, oh.
So, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. Once more, my name is Yetunde Ogedengbe, and we'll be starting very soon. But first, before we start, I just wanted to remind you that if you've not subscribed to the channel, Pure Empowerment with Yeti, please subscribe, share, and like. So we're going to give it a few minutes for more people to join us, and then we'll start. Welcome once more, and I hope you're ready to get the major information we need for today. Thank you, and then stay tuned. Welcome, Desmond.
You get everybody staring for days.
All right, welcome to my channel, Pure Empowerment with Yeti. I do encourage you. Hi, Desmond. Welcome. And I do encourage you, please, if you're here, you're watching me live, please like this video, share to any friends, any family, any loved ones you think will need support or major information about study abroad. I do say something, a way of making impact is also sharing information to other people. So very easy for you to like, subscribe, and share. All you need to do is to look at the subscribe button on that channel. Just look at that, click on subscribe, click on the notification bell, which means every time I come online to share major information about study abroad, about opportunities, you'll be able to, get all the information and all the notification at your own side. As I mentioned, the purpose why I've opened up this channel is to educate and for us to be able to share ideas and opportunity. Also, it's a way of us learning from each other. Hi, Olumide, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much. Please like, share to your friends, family, and loved ones. So today I would be talking about some care opportunities, some care experience, and also going to be sharing light on a situation that happened here in the UK currently to an international student. I'm going to be reading out some of the information about what happened based on what we've heard and how we can learn from that story as an international student. Also, today I will be sharing some websites which you can access as an international student. Website you could go to get job opportunities. I'm going to be sharing that with you today. So I do encourage you, don't be the only one on this show today because it's really going to be interesting. It's going to be very short. Why it's short is also going to be very interesting. So at first I said I'll be sharing you some websites you could access as an international student. So that website will actually help you, or that website, you can go to the website to check any job opportunities you have. I'll talk about the science base. If you're going to be looking at STEM jobs, I'll talk about where you can find the jobs. Hi, Night. Thank you so much for joining. Please, I encourage you, share to your friends, family, or anyone you think would love to get opportunities about study abroad. Please share, like, and subscribe to my channel, Pure Empowerment with Yeti TV. So we will be starting very, very soon. I started already actually, but I think I will be sharing my information very, very soon. And I do encourage you, if you have any question, or you know anyone who is willing to study in the UK, or who is already in the UK and who don't know what to do as an international student and how to gain the UK experience, so that when they finish, they will be able to have more career prospects, please, this show is an opportunity for them. And I do encourage every of our viewers that it's very important to ask questions. If you have any questions, this is a great time for you to ask. And then asking question is not, bringing you out there or maybe putting you at the spot or probably making everyone to know what exactly you would like to do. But most times asking question is a way of you getting clarity. And I do say a closed mouth is a closed destiny. If your mouth is not closed, you would be able to get every information you need. So please ask any question you want. It's very easy for you to ask the question. Once you look on my YouTube page, you would see the live chat. That's the place for you to ask your question. Just type in your questions and I'll answer them. And after this show, I will be having this live on YouTube, or this video rather on YouTube. So you can always refer back to it if you find any information very useful. Always go back to it and get information you need. So now let's get started. So before I share with you, the job sites that are very, very, very popular in the UK. Now, I do like to stress on something, and what I like stressing on is, the ideology of an international student, or a migrant who will come to the UK, who will leave their comfort zone and then come to the UK in order to increase or improve their academic experience, or in order to improve their career prospects. Now, there's also one thing very popular, one thing very important, rather. I do advise migrants, or any academic migrant. I call it academic migrant because international students would come to study, while we also have other migrants who actually get job opportunities and then come to the UK to study. But hi, Larry. Thank you so much for joining. Good evening. Welcome to this channel. Please, if you've not subscribed, subscribe and share this video to anyone you think would love to hear more about study abroad. Please share this video, and do not forget, it's a way of you making impact. You can make impact by sharing this video to anyone you think would be interested in study abroad, or anyone who is already in the UK. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. So as I was mentioning, that it's very important for international students to know some rules and some laws, especially when you are leaving your country to study abroad. It's very, very important. And one thing I do tell people is that you have to, if you're an international student, you're coming from outside the country, it's very important for you to know that the UK or Canada or Australia or New Zealand will always be different from where you are coming from. And in as much as we grew up in an environment whereby, the system will allow you to have your way, or maybe there are always shortcuts, you should also remember that going to another man's country or going elsewhere, there will always be a rule, a standard rule that works with them. And this is what I've been stressing on my previous show. And I like saying that in every of my show, because there's one thing we call the unwritten rules. I call them the unwritten rules. While you're coming to study, or probably you're coming to work in the UK, for instance, you need to understand that there are some laws that are already in place in the country. And as a migrant or as an international person changing the environment, no one will call you or sit you down to tell you this is way things are, this is how it's done here. Nobody will call you, nobody will sit you down. As an adult, you are expected to make research yourself. You are expected. Hi, Diola. Thank you so much for joining me. I so much appreciate you. Thank you for joining me. I do encourage you, please share this video, like, subscribe, because we're going to be talking about very, very important topic today. I will talk about job sites that you can access as a student, and also not necessarily have to come I mean, not everyone come to study in the UK. Some people are very lucky enough they get jobs directly from the UK if they're applying for a job that is in high demand. But if you're looking to improve your academic experience, coming to do your masters or coming to do your undergraduate or a PhD is a good thing for you to consider. So as I was saying, as an international person, when you come into the country, nobody will sit you down. There's one term that people do say is very popular in the UK, not only in the UK. They call it, or you're on your own. So while you're on your own, I still do encourage you. Please ask question. If you don't ask question, it will be very difficult and it might be very stressful for you to blend into the society. And in order for you to get the best of why you are leaving your country to another country, I do encourage you to research. It's one thing I've always stressed on my previous show. While you're researching, make sure you meet up with people who have already been in the country before. If you're coming to UK, for instance, there are various places where you can make friends. You can make friends in the church, you can make friends in the mosque. If you're not a church goer, a mosque goer, you're a traditionalist. We do have people, if you're from India, we have people who do be a Buddha, Hindu. There are some religious gathering as well. You can also go and meet people based on your faith and belief. If you don't know how to meet people through religious services, you can as well go to maybe restaurant, bars where you can meet people. Now, the reason why you are meeting people is not because you just want to have fun, but because you want to meet people of like minds that can give you the major information you need to succeed in the country you are going to find yourself in. It is very, 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 very important. Now, today I will also share a light on an example of a student who fell, who had a major problem. This is a very recent and popular news that is going all around, both in the Nigerian news and the UK news. I'm going to be sharing that, but I will not mention the student name here because of GDPR. I wouldn't, but I will want to read out some of the news articles I've seen online step by step, and I will talk about examples of where the student might have made mistakes and what the student should have done at that particular time. So please, I encourage you, share this video because you might be helping an international student who is willing to change their life. And I pray and I hope that you won't fall victim and you won't fall into this kind of situation. But before then, I like to, based on high demand, I was asked to share some of the links where students can get opportunities. Now, before I share that, one of the jobs which is very, very popular that international students or migrants do go for is the care experience role. Now, in as much as there are other jobs in the UK, as an accountant, you can always apply for an accounting role. If you're an IT person, you can apply for an IT jobs. If you're an agricultural person, there are food manufacturing companies. But if you're a student, you do wonder, I'm only restricted to 20 hours, 20 hours a week to work. How do I do it? Ideally, we know that in the UK, if you're doing a part-time job, it's always 10 as 25 hours. But at the same time, apart from getting your master's degree, you're also willing to get that experience that would add up to your CV. And then you wonder to yourself, how do I make this happen? If I go to a care job, for instance, as a student, how do I put that as my CV as a business student? Now, one thing I always like stressing on, you need to first of all sit down, think, when you go into a voluntary role, what do you want to use that experience to do? This is very, very important. So listen to me. If you are a student or someone who is aspiring to study in the UK or any other country, you have to first of all plan ahead. If you're a business student, how can a care experience add up to your business experience? It can add up a lot because normally, as a business person, you're going to be working in an organization or any organization you find yourself. You work with people. Now, being able to work in a care experience, being able to help, to support, can actually be a transferable skills. Now, those experiences that can be written in your transferable skills in a CV. So hopefully, probably I would create a show where we can talk about examples of CVs and how you can tailor your CVs to your experience. Now, but if you're looking to have like more cash add up to what you already have, most times students like going for care support role, because in care support role they can easily get a flexible job. They can get a flexible job of 10 hours, 20 hours. Reason because as an international student, you are very much restricted to a 20 hours job. But if you've come as a dependent on someone who is coming to study, you have an unlimited time. So it doesn't affect you. Some work 30, 40 hours if you are the dependent. But if you are the one coming to study, you are restricted to 20 hours. But if you want to get more, a job that can be easily accessed, a care support role or care job is something you can access. If not care job, we have grocery stores, which you can apply for, but grocery stores is not always available. Care jobs are always available, or support work are always available, or health assistant jobs are always available in the UK because it is of high demand. And we have some students who have been lucky after going for care job, they ended up being sponsored by the agency or the company that gives them the care job to do. So that alone, student can get opportunities of £10 per hour, £8 per hour, £9, depending on the location. Some are lucky to get £15 per hour, depending on where you're working. And imagine as a student, you are entitled to 20 hours to work a week, and then you get £10 per hour. That is £200 per week. And in a month, you can have £800 to pay your bills off. And if you're lucky, you're coming with a dependent, with your husband or with your wife. It means your husband, your spouse can actually work full time without any limits, and they can work in such a situation of £10, £20 per hour. So as I mentioned, it all depends on the agency. So don't quote me. So now I'll just move on to the type of jobs you think, websites you think you can apply for. It's a very short video, and please, I'm going to be pausing it little by little because I'll talk about some of the sites. Now, this is not the only site available in the UK. There are more sites. And also, if you come into the UK to study, do watch your environment, because most times we do have this agency having offices around you. Another way which you can actually get the job is to tailor your CV to whatever you're looking for, and then work in with your CV to the organization, or book an appointment for them and tell them, this is my experience, this is what I have. If you have any opportunity open, can you please give me a call or email me? So that as well also work. So I will share that with you, and I hope you'll be able to get the information which you actually require. So yeah, on my screen, I'm going to be sharing some sites with you. So if you're able to see this site, just put yes on the live charts just to confirm if you're able to hear that. Now, what I've been able to do is to take a screenshot of some websites. Now, I do not have ownership or rights over these websites, but they are readily available for you. You can always go on Google, just type in these examples of this agency on website. You will definitely get their details, and you can as well email them or call them in advance. But I do encourage you, if you're emailing them, make sure that you are about coming to the UK or you're already in the UK. Thank you so much, Gina. Thank you and welcome. Please, if you've not subscribed, please subscribe, like, and share. And if you know anyone that wants to have this opportunity, please share it with them. Now, on my screen, I'm showing you read.co.uk. That is a very, very popular site. Very, very, very popular, where you can get job opportunities. In fact, if you're going now on read.co.uk, you will get lots of job opportunities. If you're looking for care jobs, you're looking for part-time jobs, you're looking for IT jobs, you're looking for health assistant jobs, you're looking for project management job. An example of a site for you which I recommend is read.co.uk. Read is really, really good. Sometimes it do encourage you to put your CV on it, so you can also load your CV. So this is one thing no one would tell you. As an international student who only have 20 hours, you're thinking, I want to get this experience, because if I finish my studies, how can I prove that I have a UK experience? And that's why the UK government have been so generous to leave 20 hours for you to get a voluntary role, or maybe to get something within your institution or get something outside your institution, just to get that experience. And the good thing is, okay, someone said it's very blurry. It could be your internet connection, so please bear with me. So yeah, so as I'll continue, we have Adeco. Adeco is also a group you can actually check, a website you can check. We have CK Group as well. We also have what we call the CV Library, which is very popular. We also have the Staff Line, which is very, very, very popular. And of course, we have another one as well, which is on your website. We also have Grad Cracker. So if you can see my screen now, this should be very, very clear for you. Desmond, thank you so much for joining. So I will assume you guys can see my screen right now. Don't worry if you can't see it. It might be a bit very, it might be tiny, but I will read them out for you. So number one site which you can actually access is read.co.uk as a student. Don't forget, when you come in to study, no one will tell you this. No one will give you this information. They believe that as an adult, you should be able to make research yourself. So if you're coming to study and you want to use your 20 hours, you don't want your 20 hours to waste, or you are a dependent who is willing to get this experience, you can go to this website in preparation of your studies and start checking what are the things, those things you need to have, or those things you need to know to be able to study, to be able to get a job experience rather. So as I mentioned, apart from that, we have the Adeco. So Adeco is also a very, very powerful website, which of course owned by some people. And these websites have been able to provide you any job opportunities that are available at any time. So this job it doesn't really restrict to just care work or agriculture. If you're looking for any type of job that can suit into your portfolio, you can look onto this website and keep checking. And as soon as you see one, all you need to do is to prepare your CV and then put in the application on time. So Adeco is one of them. So after Adeco, we also have what they call Grad Cracker. Grad Cracker is a very, very popular one, very, very popular one, especially if you're an IT person. If you're someone who studied data, you're someone who actually study ICT, maybe you study engineering courses, mechanical engineering, chemical engineering. If you are willing to look for graduate jobs like as fast as possible, Grad Cracker is something. Now, don't forget that if you're looking for full time, well, you can actually get most of them on Grad Cracker or any of these sites. But because if you're a student and you're restricted to 20 hours to work, you can go to sites like CV Library. CV Library is also very good. Total Jobs is as well very, very good. The UK one is very good. You can get jobs on those. You can get samples of jobs, their location, what you need to apply on, or what you need to provide, or whatever. The job description are always on the websites. Now, don't forget that the new rules in the UK allow students to have the 2 years graduate visa, which is very good. So I do advise students, when you're coming to study, always plan yourself ahead. So it may be probably 6 months, 7 months. In fact, I do encourage you 1 year before finishing, or let me say 7 months before finishing is actually quite ideal. Start looking online, start looking what you need to do, start looking on this website, start checking when those jobs will be available, when they'll be closing, what are the job descriptions. Those things will guide you on how you can get a job. And I can tell you, some people are actually very lucky. They get jobs right from their own country. Next week Sunday, I will be inviting a special guest. She is a very, very good person, a professional in the medical line, in the biomedical line, and she was able to get a job right from Africa, Nigeria, to the UK straight away. So I will bring her next week Sunday, where she's going to share her experience with you. She will share how she was able to get this opportunity. So as I mentioned, Grad Cracker is also a very good one. For instance, you see that you are already going into your graduate route, you can apply for a very, very good opportunity on Grad Cracker. That is if you're a science student or engineering student, accounting student, a place where you can actually check is CV Library. You can also check the Lincolnshire jobs as well. If you are around Lincoln and you feel you've not been able to get something, you can check Lincoln. If you're looking for part-time, flexible 20-hour job, Staffline is also a very good site to go to. When you're coming in, nobody will tell you this. All you need to do is to just come here, attend your classes, and at your spare time, go on this website, upload your CVs, and keep applying. Now, let's move on. What are the links you need to know? We have the www.totaljobs.com. We have the read.co.uk. We have the boardgreenhouse.io.propel. We have the joblist.com. We have the adeco.co.uk. We have the bluebirdcarecareers.co.uk. We have the ckgroup.co.uk. We also have the lincolnshirejob.co.uk. We have the staffline.co.uk. Now, these are examples of sites you could go to. If you can't cram this off at, please take a screenshot wherever you are, or take a picture of this, and always go on this website, especially if you are a student or you're a dependent coming to study here. So an example is the total www.totaljobs.com. So for this type of studies, for this type of website, you will get different opportunities, total jobs. Whether opportunities either in the engineering field or in the ICT line, or probably you're looking for care jobs. If you're someone who actually care for the older ones, or you're someone who actually care for children, this is a very good site for you to go. Another one I mentioned is the www.read.co.uk. Now, we've had so many students that will say, "Oh, I've been on this website, there are lots of them available. I don't know how to apply." Now, most of these sites will direct you to the company's website. So when they direct you, one thing I do encourage you to do is, as a student, make sure you check that this job allow you to work flexibly for 20 hours. If this job is more than 20 hours, they would not give you. Why? Because your visa is restricted to 20 hours. But if you are a dependent, you are a wife to someone, or a husband to someone, or you are a teen, you are a child to someone, you're dependent, you can apply because you have no limit on your visa. When I mean no limit, I mean no limited hours to work in a week. So that actually gives you more chances. We also have the boards.greenhouse.io. Propel is a very good website for you to check. It's very, very accessible. You can also check the joblist.com. That one also gives you the list of jobs opportunity in the UK. And not just only that, we also have examples like the Bluebird Cares Careers.co.uk. If you're someone you're actually looking for a care job, an example of where to go is a www.bluebirdcarecareers.co.uk. Now, don't forget, this is not the only place where you can get this opportunity. Now, if you could remember from my last video, from my last show, I mentioned something. If you want to look for opportunity, Google is your friend. All you need to do is just go on Google. And when you go on Google, just type in the careers, and then you just type in careers or type in care jobs, and then you would see those agencies or those vacancies coming up at you on Google. As you can see, the world is now digital. The world is very digital. There is really no reason for you to say, "Oh, I don't know, nobody is telling me, I don't know where to go to look for these opportunities. As a student, I've not seen a flexible one." But actually, as a student, you can see a flexible job opportunities. So I'm giving it more time for this to be on my screen so that you can take a screenshot. Now, I mentioned there is also a very popular website, the Grad Cracker. If you are an engineering student, this is in fact, you should, if you're an engineering student, you are about finishing your study, you should be sleeping on Grad Cracker by now. You should be sleeping on Grad Cracker by now. So what I'm saying is you should be sleeping on Grad Cracker by now if you are an engineering student. So please do bear in mind that looking for jobs are not easy, but when you get that job, you also need to show yourself approved. That is very, 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 very important. Very, very, very important. So please, I'm actually taking more time, and I'm going to give it more time for you to be able to take a screenshot of this video before I continue, because I wouldn't want a situation when I will take this screenshot out, and then some of my viewers will say they are not being able to hear that. So I'm going to give you some vibes a little while you copy down those links for your use.
Another world. I no go there, I no go there, once I on the ways, I follow there. I no feel on the look with the face, I'm all there. You better take the stick go in your face, so I no go there, I no go there, once.
So guys, I hope you've been able to copy the video. Please just copy
I on the ways,
the
I
links.
follow there.
So I'm actually giving it more time for you to be able to copy the links on those on my page right now. Please copy them if you've not been able to copy them. Because once in a few minutes I will take off that information on my website.
Mommy, lover, no go all over me, my dear. Baby, slow down, do not close for your heart. Draw me closer, make a down. Baby, slow down, do all over me, my dear. I know go there, second days. I follow there. I know feel on the look on your face. More, you better get the fit go in your face. So I know go there, once I go there. Take on there, ways for your body, oh. My salvation, I better fight, I say it for your body, oh. If I go by, my resurrection, set for your body, oh. It's a miracle walking body, oh. Everything there for your body, oh. Na, 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 na. Don't go baby for cemetery, oh, na, na, na. You say, oh, I'm necessary, oh, na, 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 baby, na, 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 na,
So I hope you've been able to get the information you want. So now I'm going to be taking this off the screen right now. Don't forget, I mentioned to you, it's very, very much important that before you apply for these opportunities, you also need to get all the information you need. Don't forget, you need to get all the information you need to be able to get those opportunities. And your BRP, of course, I've mentioned this in my previous video, is not just about going online and then start putting those applications in. It doesn't work that way. And also, it's also good for you to note that you need to have your proper documentation. As a student, you can't work more than 20 hours. I keep stressing on this. Please try not to work more than 20 hours and don't break the law, don't break the rules. Make sure you are on top of your game. The reason why you're coming to the UK is because you want to study. If you're a student, don't I tell students, don't be so selfish to put yourself into trouble. At the end of the day, you just end up being selfish to yourself and then land yourself into trouble. So please don't do that. I'm also encouraging you, if you have any question, this is your very, very good time to ask me any question you want to ask. Your question can be based on any job opportunities you think will suit your own profile. And I'm going to be very much happy to answer that. So now I'm going to talk about the the popular news that is actually going right now on a particular student, a Nigerian student who came here to study. And it's just so unfortunate for that student. I'm not going to be mentioning the name at all because of GDPR and also to protect the students. And at the same time, I'm going to be reading one of the article I saw online. This is actually very real. And I just wanted to say thank you to the fellow students who actually shared this on the news. The person was able to share this to one international student on why they should always follow the rules and regulation of the country they come to study. And before then, I will say a thank you to the owner of the song I just played now, the Apollo song, Victoni. So now, before I move on, I do encourage, and I'm still going to be encouraging you, please, when you're coming to another country, don't always think things are done the way they are done in your country. Always remember that the place you're going to have a law, they have rules. Now, there are some rules, I personally call them the unwritten rules. Those are the things you will not see on the website. You will not see this thing on the website. Nobody will sit you down except if you're lucky to have maybe a sister or a brother who's already been in the UK, the US, or anywhere before. Those are the ones that can call you, or your church member, your mosque member, or your Muslim brothers and sisters, or your Hindu brothers and sisters or Buddhist brothers and sisters that will advise you. Please remember, nobody will advise you except you ask, except those who are extremely nice. So I'm going to share with you a story. A Nigerian student allegedly jailed 10 years for manslaughter in the UK. Now, this is a story which I wouldn't like to share. I'm not going to be mentioning name. I'm not also going to mention the care home where the student work, because I won't want to do that. It's against the rule. I have to protect the student. I also have to protect the care home as well. Now, I'm going to read out this article, and I hope you'll be able to learn from it. So now, this is very, very, very easy. This article was published on the 23rd. This news have been very popular this week. Now, so an unnamed Nigerian man studying in the United Kingdom has allegedly been sentenced 10 years imprisonment for manslaughter. Now, why is this student jailed? I will tell you why. I will tell you the mistake the students have done. I will tell you probably the mistake the care home might have done, or maybe they might have done it, but wouldn't recognize that the students haven't gotten the experience that they need to work in that role. Now, according to so many information, going on Twitter, going on Instagram, going on Google, on Facebook, on Chrome. Now, this student is actually working in a certain care home, and the student is working part-time. Very good, as a caregiver. Now, there is, in this kind of case, a caregiver is involved, the care home is involved, the disease now, the patient himself is involved. So this person is working, was actually deployed to a place to work. Okay, thank you for asking your question. I will take that question one by one. But first, let me share this experience with you. You're going to learn from this experience. And at this moment, if you have any friends who is looking to study in the UK that are not currently watching me now, this is the right time to share this video to them so that they can learn from this experience. So this student was actually taken to a care home to work. Why they are being transferred to a care home to work? He was supposed, or he or she, I will put it as the person. Let me use it. I don't want to use he or she so that you will know. So the person was supposed to do help the patients, right? I'm going to read it out. So now she said that the person stated that the disease died as a result of a fall from the suspect. So what happened was that the person was supposed to work with these patients. Now, at the point when they're supposed to work, the patient, the student per se was supposed to wait for the colleague at work to attend to this particular patient. Now, don't forget that when, as a student, when you are going to work and you are being told to work with your colleague, it means that that patient must have been in a very critical condition. Now, this goes down to any viewers who is watching me right now, and you're looking to do the support work because of the money you're going to get from it, and because of the experience you're going to get from it. Probably you are a student, you're looking to do nursing later, and you don't have a nursing background, and that is why you are doing the support work. Please listen to this. Now, in this story, in the tweet, it says the information goes like this: the student was jailed 10 years imprisonment. The boy was deployed to a certain care home in the UK for a patient who needs one-to-one, two-to-one care. Now, this means that the patient has to be carried or attended to by two people. Now, this story is going to teach anyone going to support work, which means that you need to follow rules and regulation. Unfortunately for the boy, his partner was unavailable at the moment, and instead of waiting, the boy decided to single-handedly carry the patient. Now, I'm not trying to scare you. Why support work is a very good thing to do. In fact, if you're looking to get money because of 20 hours, support work is a good place to get your experience. But one thing you should always remember, before you go into the care job, they will normally train you. Now, most care homes will give you some online tests to do. When I mean online courses to do, online courses that will teach you how to attend to patients, that will teach you health and safety, that will teach you how to report incidents. Please, if you're a student already in the UK, or you're a student who is aspiring to come to study in the UK and you want to do a support work, please make sure you do those training so that you don't end up being a victim. I'll continue reading this story. I will answer your questions, but please let me read out this particular trending story so that we can all learn from it. You are learning from it, we are all learning from it. So now, unfortunately for this partner, for the student did not wait for the second colleague to come so that they can attend to the patient. So the student will technically feel, oh, I will be able to attend to this patient myself. Let me just go and attend to the patient. Maybe the person is just being nice, or maybe the student is just being, I just want to flex my muscle a bit. Let me show them that I can, I can walk. The patient fell when that student was handling that patient, right? And the boy, out of ignorance, quickly carried the patient up back on the bed. He didn't even make any report about the incident. The next day, the patient died. Now, before I continue, I mentioned to you that when you are coming into a new country, one thing you should always bear this in mind. Every country have their rules and regulation. Every country have its rules and regulation. Do not assume that, you know, I have to do it the way they are doing it. Please attend to rules and regulations. Do not, you know, do not think that what do they call it? That you will just, do things. The person fell and that's it. Now, this student is from Nigeria. Nigeria is a very good country. It's where I'm from. Not only Nigeria, I've had opportunities of speaking with Indian students who are from Asian country. Because of the fear we have, when things happen, we are not used to reporting those things. And now, probably that is the case of that student who refused to report the case to or on the report sheet or to the employer. This is a true life story, and I hope you guys will be able to learn from it. Now, the student attended to the patient, which he or she, or I wouldn't want to say the gender or this is so that you wouldn't start looking for the person. The person would have waited for their colleague. That is what they call listening to instructions. The person could have waited for the colleague to be done with whatever he or she is doing and then attend to the patient together. Don't forget that the employer already put on the incident report for that patient that this patient cannot be handled by one person. The person needs to be handled by two persons. Now, maybe at the point the student is trying to, maybe let me just help, let me just do this thing so that I can go and rest. Or it could be a situation whereby I will not even be surprised if the colleague was even the one to say, go and handle it. I'm busy. Don't let anyone put you into a mess. Don't let anyone put you into trouble. While you are leaving your country to come and study in another place and you want to get work experience, make sure you abide to the rule of that organization because it's very important. One thing you should always think, there must be a reason why they put that rule there. That rule isn't there for fun. In the case of these patients, there was a reason why they said that person should be handled by one person. It could be that the patient is a very, very, huge patient that one person cannot handle, or the person must be very fragile to be able to be handled. So you need to ensure you follow the rules of your employer. Now, the next day, the patient passed and they noticed bruises on the body. Investigation showed that late patient had a fall that was not reported. The boy was charged to court and will be jailed 10 years for manslaughter. It will only take the grace of God and a very good lawyer to be able to fight for this boy. Because looking at the whole storyline, the boy wouldn't know in fact, he might even be trained. Now, there are two story sides to this story. It could be that the boy was trained. Probably the training, the care home they gave the guy was just a normal training. They will just give them a slide for them to practice and then come and start. Now, is a warning to different care homes that care homes need to be up in their game. While you are training international people on how to care, there's also a need for you to do a practice. Let them come in and see how it is patients has been and be handled. Now, in this kind of case, now the care home is not held responsible. The boy is the one that is held responsible. Don't forget, this boy is an international student who have already paid their fees to a university. An international student that will be deprived of their studies and will be jailed 10 years. And what happened after 10 years? The person is deported or taken back home. So, and this goes down to you abiding to the rules and regulations of any organization. Don't be too in a hurry or in a haste. Money, money, money. I'm not saying the guy is in a haste, but what the story we've learned from it, from the story, is that you have to abide by rules. At the time when they've told you anything that happened to the patient, report it. If the students have reported it, there is a possibility that the students will not be, jailed. It could be that the point of handling, it could be that the patients maybe flip or try to, resist from the students from carrying them. Personally, I've had situation like that. I remember when I was studying, at the point I've never done care job work before at that time. And I felt like, you know what, I want to have that experience. Let me know how it is. Then I said, okay, I will apply just for me to have, few days. I didn't even stay last longer there. But because I'm someone who cares for people, I did NHS befriender before. And that was a voluntary role I did when I was studying, where I go into hospitals, I talk to patients, I tell them about how they have to be very positive in life, but we are not allowed to go deep so that we don't start reminding them of their trauma. If you're working in a care home or you're working as an NHS befriender, you tend to deal with adults, patients that have dementia, patients who are old age, people who are very fragile. So you need to be very careful and ensure that you read script to script everything that's been given to you by your line manager or anything that's been given to you by your employer. There are reasons why those rules are there. Now, if you refer to the story of this particular guy who is currently in trouble in the UK for not reporting the incidents, who is now going to be jailed 10 years in prison, you can see that at the end of the day, it's as a result of the experiences he has had from his own country. We all know that if the same situation happened in his own country, he might not want to report it because he felt, oh, I didn't do it. They might want to jail him, or he might feel he didn't do it. People will blame him because, of course, in some countries, they like shifting blame, even if the person is innocent. But now, the reason why this guy is jailed is not because he made a mistake. Nobody is above mistake. It can happen to anybody. But the reason why he was jailed is if he had reported that incident. Now, you might think this story does not concern you. It actually concerns you because support work and care work are most jobs that international students go for because of the money. So you need to have this at the back of your mind when you are coming. Why you are very much interested in the money you will get in your 20 hours. Please be much interested that you don't want to be in trouble. In the case of the students, no more masters, no more studies, no more being in the UK to use the 2 years graduate visa or post-study visa. No more that this person will be jailed and be returned back home. You wouldn't want your situation to be like that. Neither would you want your spouse or your dependent situation to be like that, which is very much important for you to be part of this show today and share it to anyone you feel this information can bless. Now, remember, your employer will give you rules to follow. Follow the rules. If you are being trained by your employer and you are not sure of what to do, don't bother going to do the role. Just ask questions from your line manager that is around, ask questions from your colleagues around, and make sure they put you through. And if anything happen during the time you are handling your patients, which is, of course, there are some patients that when you deal with them, they can be so strong that they want to push against you. At that time, you need to call for help. In this kind of student situation, if you had called for help and then put in that report, the employer would have called the doctor to check that patient, and that patient would have been alive till date. So the reason why that student is to be jailed for manslaughter is not because the student made a mistake. It was because the person failed to report that incident. And as a result of that fall the patient died. So you cannot see that sometimes not following the rules of the organization can actually cost a life, especially if you are here, you're looking to do a support work as a student. You need to be very, very careful. Don't use the love of money to dent everything you have worked for. I'm not saying the students have the love of money, but I'm also using the opportunity to warn or to give you that information. Don't be too quick and be after money. Be quick and be after your own self, your own development, your own progress. Because any mistake you make at work that could cost another person's life could actually cost your own destiny and career progression. So now, you can't leave your country to seek a better life only to land in jail and maybe a deportation afterwards. It's a very, very sad story for that student. I hope wherever that student is, that he is able to get the support he needs And only a good lawyer will be able to fight for that guy as it stands. Now, for every viewers who are watching me right now, I'm very sure the question in your mind would be, why am I sharing this story? Why is she sharing this story? I'm sharing this story. Don't forget, I mentioned to you, if you look at the percentage of students working, doing part-time jobs, flexible job, most of them are doing care work or support work. And at the process when you are doing that, you need to be very, very careful, extra careful. I remember in my own time when I was studying, I told you I wanted to have that experience. After doing the NHS Befriender, I moved into a particular agency. I told them I want to do short term because, of course, it's not what I want to do for long. I just want to get the experience. I want to help people. I want to change life. I want to, assist adults as well. And on this particular day, I went to work. They actually posted me to a very, very far place. This happened in Scotland. And when I came in, I was allocated to a particular patient. Now, I noticed that my other colleague, they didn't want to work with that particular patient. They knew that I'm a very, very new person. They knew that I'm a new person to that care home. And they told me, let Yeti do the job. I was like, wow, why is everyone running away to handle this patient? After all, it's our job to do. I never knew that it was, the patient was a bit very hard and difficult to handle. And in fact, to make matter worse, one of my colleagues had to tell me to even walk that patient out for fresh air. Now, those colleagues, they knew that that patient was very hard to handle, but they wanted me to go through that part, knowing well what could happen. Now, I was very, very smart enough to do something. Anytime I'm being told, well, I no longer work in that field anymore, but I did that as a short term to get the experience. When at that point when I was doing it as a student, anytime I've been asked to walk a patient out, the first thing I do is to take my mobile phone with me. Why? The reason why I take my mobile phone is if anything happens, I'll be able to call the home or able to call the agency. And I make sure I have the agency manager's number saved. One thing you also need to remember and bear in mind, make sure you save the contact details of the home or the agency or your colleague at work at that time. Please listen to this. As an international student coming to study in the UK, and you want to use your 20 hours, or as a dependent who wants to care for people, make sure you bear this in mind. If you're being posted to work in a care home, make sure you get the number of your colleague, make sure you get the number of the care home, make sure you get the number of the agency that is sending you. If you're being asked to walk a patient out, or you are being told to go privately to a patient's home to take care of them, make sure you have phone numbers to call when there's emergency. And don't forget, in every of the homes, they do have what they call the incident book. On the incident book, you'll be able to see the history of your patients. They will even tell you, don't allow this person to come in if there's a need. If there's anything, contact this. If there's anything, do this. This person needs one person. This person needs two people. This person needs. They will always mention. Make sure you strictly follow that rules. Now, let me continue with my story. At the point, I followed the patient out, and the care home was actually close to a very big major road. Could you believe that the patient wanted to go and leave with a whole lot of I won't say aggressiveness. The patient just wanted to go out and run away. At the point, the person was too strong for me to handle. But one thing I did right was I had my phone. I had no choice than to call the home and say, can I have a support here? This and so has happened. And that's how some of my people came to rescue, because at that point, one person couldn't handle that patient. Now, if you look at that, my story, it looks like a colleague was trying to set another person's up, right? It looks like a colleague was trying to see, let's see how he or she can handle these patients. But these are the things that can happen. In this student's case, who knows if that was what happened? Now, at the end of the day, the student is in trouble. Nobody is there to defend him, except if he gets a lawyer. And I hope that you would not fall into this victim or being a victim at the end of the day by anyone or by somebody's mistake. So I do encourage you. Why support work is a very, very good job you could access for the 20 hours as a student. Please bear in mind that there are rules and regulations you need to follow. You need to strictly follow those rules because they are way important, because any single mistake can cost you your whole world collapsing. Now, let me pick this question here from one of our viewers. As a microbiology student in Nigeria, can I apply for a business or management course in the UK? Yes, of course. Now you can apply for a business course, but on one reason, on one condition. If you are a science student and you have a business experience. Now, business experience is something that is always very hard for some science students to ascertain or to get or to prove. Now, how would you get that? Before saying that, I would explain to you that as a microbiologist, you need to have an experience. If you want to move to business, you need to have an experience or management experience. And this experience can come from anywhere. It could be probably doing your undergraduate studies in your university. Maybe you volunteered in your organization, you were the treasurer, or maybe you were managing 50 group of students, and you were able to show some management skills. You can use that as your experience on your personal statement. Or maybe you're a microbiologist and you end up working in a bank or you end up working in an organization and you're part of the administrative staff. Yes, you can use that as an experience. As long as you have that experience, you can do a management or a business course. Now, that is not just the only thing. As a microbiologist, you need to ask yourself, is that what you want to do? Why should I move to business? Why? The question is, why are you moving to the business side? Why do you want to do business? Are you doing business because you have a business you're running or you plan having a business later on? Now, as a microbiologist, don't forget you can also do the MSc pre-registration nursing if you're someone who loves to care for people. Why? Because you have the science background, you have the microbiology background. So you can use that to do a master's directly into the pre-registration nursing course. In addition to that, as a microbiologist as well, you can decide to go further with your microbiologist role. That can also work for you. But if you're looking to do business and management, you have to also think twice. There must be a reason why you are moving into business. So think about that. And if you still have more questions, please feel free to put that on the chat. Another question here is for remote jobs, are we allowed to work more than 20 hours? No, no, no. Now, that is a very, very tricky question. If you are a dependent, we have some dependents who already have their business in Nigeria. Nobody cares what happens to your business in Nigeria. The only place where you are being told to work 20 hours is in the UK if you are the students. 20 hours is if you are in the UK and the job is a UK job. 20 hours is enough for you as a student. Now, there is a reason why the government are restricting students, international students, to 20 hours. The reason is because you've changed your environment to come and study in the UK. You don't know how the educational system is. First of all, the best thing is for you to blend into the educational system. It might be very difficult. And for you to be able to merge that with studies, it can be very daunting for you. And depending on the kind of course you're coming to study, some courses will take your time. For instance, we'll have some students who will do accounting and finance and will have classes almost Monday to Friday. When would you have time to have your life? So you have to also think about that. If you're doing a science-based program, a science course like a microbiology, biotechnology, course that are lab-intensive courses, you wouldn't even have the time to even start doing extra things. So 20 hours as a student is okay for you. And I do encourage you to restrict yourself to that if you're a student. But don't forget, if you are in term time and you finish your studies, nobody's going to be holding you. The sky is your limit. If you like, work 1,000 hours a week. Nobody will hold you after your studies. Don't forget, if you're coming to study in the UK, we have the 2 years graduate visa, which the government already reintroduced into every student coming to get a study visa. With that, you can work limited hours. And we've had, from my own personal experience, I've had so many positive testimonies from students. And these are students who were able to get sponsored jobs after their studies. Don't forget, getting sponsored job, I won't say it's easy. I will say it's easy and it's not easy. It's not easy because you have to put in effort. Don't forget, there are millions of people who are already here, who are even born here, who have the visa here to work full-time permanently. And you are competing with those people. But it's easy because if you've done specialized courses like IT, nursing, or maybe you have a care experience and you want to move to a care job, you can get sponsored care jobs. You can get sponsored IT jobs. Earlier, I said I actually shared some links with you. If you're an ICT person, or you're an engineering person and you want to look for opportunities after your studies, please just go on GradCracker. That's your best website to go. Go on GradCracker. Once you go online, pick GradCracker. You can sign up to GradCracker and you keep receiving newsletters. You see different type of placements and jobs that you can access as a student who a fresh graduate rather. If you're looking for part-time jobs, 20 hours, is most times it's mostly support work or working in a grocery stores, or you can also find some part-time flexible hours with some construction companies actually, but those ones are limited. So for students, you're only restricted to 20 hours. But if you are a dependent of a student, you can always apply to full-time jobs. Nobody is holding you. In fact, when you check your BRP, it would always be there. The number of hours you can work and how you're not restricted. So it's called Grad Cracker. I'm going to share a screen with you right now, and you'll be able to get the information. So I'm sharing again the slides, and this slides it shows you some of the website you can get job opportunities. It's called Grad Cracker. It's GradCracker all together. So Grad Cracker is together all together. It's called Grad Cracker. We have Grad Cracker, we have Adeco, we have Total Jobs, we have CV libraries, we have Staff Line. For those who are in food and manufacturing organizations, Staff Line is a very good place for you to go. We have Total Jobs, we have read.co.uk, we have the Propel websites, we have the www.joblist.com, we have the adeco.co.uk. If you are looking for care jobs, we have the Bluebird Care Careers.co.uk. If you're looking for microbiologist job, you're looking for medical lab scientist, CK Group is a very good place to go. In fact, they have their phone numbers as well. If you are around, you can submit your CV to them. Most times, whenever they see opportunities in your field, they will normally give you a call and they discuss this with you before passing you on to the organization. We have the Lincolnshire job as well. We also have Grad Cracker. So it's all on the website. Please check my link here, www.gradcracker.com. If you're an engineering person, that's the best. I recommend that website. It's a very good website. I mean, it's a very, very good website to check if you're looking for science-based program jobs, engineering, IT, data analyst. Oh my God. And with top organizations, Grad Cracker is a very good place to go. All you need to do is to sign up. And if it's going to be tier 2 sponsored, you always see them. Another one I never mentioned, if you're looking to work in higher education, you're looking to work as an international officer, or you're looking to work in maybe a university or as a lecturer, please just go to job.ac.uk. That's a very good website for you to go. That's www.job.ac.uk. Now, don't forget, if you are a new student, when you're coming in, make sure your focus is on your studies. Because I beg you, make sure your focus is on your studies. And while you're focusing on your studies, it doesn't stop you of seeking opportunities. It doesn't. Make sure the 20 hours does not waste. If you can decide to waste your 20 hours if you want. But I do encourage students making use of their 20 hours, because most times some organization will tell you to provide your UK experience. So if you don't use your 20 hours, how do you show the UK experience? So that's to tell you that your 20 hours is very, very, very important for you to use. Why is not compulsory, but it's also good for you to use the 20 hours. Now, if you're looking for engineering experience, one other thing you can look is check Grad Cracker. There are some flexible part-time rules you can see. If you can't see that, maybe you can just check your university. You can volunteer in your university. If you're an ICT person, you can also maybe check your international office, sign up to be a student ambassador. If you're a designer, you can sign up as a student ambassador to help them do flyers. You can sign up in societies to do flyers so that you can get those experience that you could add to your CV, so that after you finish and you're applying for a sponsored job, you can have the good experience to add to your CV. Don't forget that is very, 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 very important. Now, while we still have some experience job, we have some jobs that doesn't even require you to have an experience. All you just need is you just need to do some tests. Some organizations would normally give you some IQ tests to do. Once you pass the test and you move ahead, you can always, get a job and then you'll be trained. We have an example of that is TPP. TPP careers is also a very good place to go and they pay well high. You can see they pay as much as £40,000 a year, 30 something thousand pounds a year, even as a fresh graduate. Go and check TPP. TPP is a very good place if you're somebody who is into the health plus tech sector. So there are lots of them. If you want to get more information, just go on Google. Google is your friend. Type in and software engineering jobs in the UK or in Canada or in the US, you will see it there. Google is always good. And when you get those websites, you have to also be very careful. As long as that website have the padlock, that means it's very secure. You can count on that website. So I have some questions popping in. What about courses which aren't specialized like computer science? In fact, that's a very good question. Computer science course is a very, very good course and is of high demand in the UK. It's only those who don't know that value of a computer scientist. Don't forget, ever since COVID started, many things has gone virtually. Now, while you are a computer scientist, you also should have your own personal specialization. I also understand that as a computer scientist, there are some software you would normally know. There are some organizations that are looking for that software. If you're a computer scientist, you're coming to study, do also bear in mind that some organizations will need you to have some software skills. Now, let me give you one tip. If you're coming to do another course, as a software scientist, you can do project management, you can do digital marketing, you can go for courses like ICT courses because you did computer science. Or you can also specialize in some software, or you can even take on board some short courses in the UK. Don't forget, you will be having your 2 years graduate visa. And during that time, you can as well go for short Google courses. We have some free Google courses, LinkedIn courses about Google Analytics. We have some courses about SEO. We have some courses about software that you can actually do. Some schools also offer some fully funded software courses. I remember when I was checking a particular school in Glasgow, GCU for instance, I saw some fully funded courses online. Now, in University of Lincoln, we have some language courses that students can do. We have some short courses that you can also check online to access. If you're also into the food industry, we have some, health and safety courses you can access in University of Lincoln. So most universities have short courses that are just peanuts that you don't have to pay lots of money. And even having that short courses can give you a job opportunity. Don't forget, in the UK here, it's not just only about your degree. It's not only about your degree. Your experience matter. In fact, they value accredited courses or professional certifications even more. You can study computer science and have certifications on, let's say, Java. You have certification on coding, just short courses that you did. Compare that to somebody who did coding, and after practicing, the person couldn't even code. They will pick you over that person. So here in the UK, they don't just look at your certificates. If you have a master, they don't even ask you, do you have 2, 1, 2, 2 or first class? No. They don't even care about your grade. All they care about is your experience. What can you offer? What can you bring? If you are a fresh graduate, are you able to learn quickly? What are the skills that you have in your university that you can table down? I think I need to do a show on CV writing on its own. I can do a show on CV writing, and where you'll be able to ask me different questions on how you can tailor your CV. And before then, I will let you know once I'm doing that show. But next week, I'm bringing a host, and I'm also going to do a call-in show on Sunday next week. Please make sure you attend my show and share that to your friends. So I'll be showing that on Facebook, on YQ blog. That's my Facebook page. And on Instagram, you can contact me at Ogedengbe Yetunde. That's my Instagram. You can follow me. I will always post every shows I'm going to be doing. Why my Instagram show is a personal Instagram. My Instagram page is a personal Instagram, but I'm somebody, I love impacting knowledge. I love educating people. So I've made sure I share my events, my virtual events or physical events on my personal Instagram pages, because I want people to be able to see that That's all. That's who I am. That's all I'm about. So I have a question here. Environmental science courses like town planning or architecture get where to work 20 hours. Now, Larry, that's a very, very good question. So you hardly see architects just working 20 hours. To be sincere, you hardly see that. But as an architect, there are lots of construction. I will advise you, make sure you have some certification with whatever you're having. If you are coming to study in the UK, look for some website that do short courses. There are some organizations that will do short courses and then put you in an internship at the end. We have some companies like Bamnatal. Bamnatal is a very good construction company. And if you're good with, if you're an architect, you are a quantity surveyor. Yes, another thing I never mentioned, if you're a quantity surveyor, oh my God, the jobs are like crazy because they're in high demand. So, or if you are an engineer, civil engineering, oh my God, high demand. But environmental science, you are also in high demand, provided you have some certification attached to your degree. So if you don't have anything that make you apart, please go and do that. In the UK, we have what we call NEBOSH. NEBOSH is for environmental scientists. If you can do NEBOSH with your environmental science degree, you're going to be the hottest cake ever. Before you're going to be the hottest bean cake, the hottest moi moi ever in the UK. If you have NEBOSH with environmental science. So go online, look for short courses for environmental scientists, short courses for architects. Go and look for those things. There are some free courses you can do online. Some universities offer sponsored short courses. Go and check it. Some even offer at a very small amount of money. Go and do it. You're not doing it just because you want to do it for fun. You're doing it because you want to improve your employability skills. So, Larry, if I were to be you, that is what I'm going to do. For environmental scientists, most of the jobs that for environmental scientists I've actually seen, you will normally read, if you read the job description, they will tell you you need to have NEBOSH, you need to have health and safety certification. So there are some health and safety things you need to do. Now, also you need to check yourself. Do you want to work in construction company? As an environmental scientist, you can fit into a construction organization. Reason because you need someone who can assess the environment, who can assess the place before a work can be done. So now, do you want to do certification in assessment skills, or do you want to get something that will help you improve your assessment skills? Do you want to do the course? And the Bosch is an example that help you learn more about health and safety measures when you're having a building constructions. So those things are very important. Now, talking about 20 hours. Now, I'm not totally sure if 20 hours is already available. In fact, they're not too much as compared to care or data. But you mustn't work in a construction company before you can work. There are some organizations that are waste organization. They deal with waste. You might want to go there and apply. As an environmental scientist, if you are the one focusing on health, working in a care home, maybe dealing with their health and safety standard is something you can work in. You mustn't be the one handling patients. So if you check online, for instance, I wish I can share my screen. I would have done an example for you of how to look for that. But maybe I will look for another show. I will create another show and maybe share screen on how to look for that. But it's not hard. So for that student, for Larry, go online, go on Google or go to Total Jobs, go to a CK Group or go to Civil Library, type in part-time jobs for architects. So you'll be able to see. So architect is also, we have lots of architects here already. That's the truth. It's just like architecture here is like law. It's like law in the UK. In the UK. If you study law in Nigeria and you are bringing that degree in the UK, forget it. There are lots of lawyers here that are British. So it's a very competitive program. Competitive in terms of job is very competitive. So if you've done architecture, look for something that will make you outstanding. Go and get additional certification that would separate you. For that architect, maybe look for something in civil engineering. Look for a short civil engineering related short course. Do it with it so that you can fit into civil engineering. Even with that, you might be able to fit into working into places like network rail, in a train stations, people that deals with rail constructions. If you do shortcut with it, it will give you higher edge of getting a job. But please don't just focus on only architecture degree only. That's my advice for you. So yeah, so that's it. That's the information I have for you today. I hope you've been able to learn, and I hope you'll be able to share my show. Please don't be the only one learning this. I have a question here. Knowing you will be a regional advisor or manager to the university, can I ask question based on application? Yes, please ask your question. If I mean, totally, I work for the University of Lincoln as a regional manager for Africa, but of course, this is my private show. But if you're here and you want to ask questions regarding the university I work with, please feel free to ask your question. As I mentioned, the reason why I've organized this show is to provide support to members of the public, is a way of me giving back to my society. It's a way of me sharing my own personal experience. I work with the university. I also have my own businesses that I do as well. I do a sustainability business with a friend. I also do this peer empowerment as well to support people. I also do community development projects as well. So my area of expertise does not just cover educational consultancy or business consultancy. I also do things like if you want to do community development projects and you're soliciting for fund, I'm very good at writing proposals. So I do proposal writing as well. If you also want to do marketing proposal, I'm also very, very good at marketing proposal. So those are my area of expertise, and I use it to support people around or people who are interested to work with me on a community development project. So if you're here, you're interested in doing a community development project in Africa, and don't just focus in Nigeria alone. Do in Ghana, Tome, anywhere in Africa or in Europe or in the UK. You feel maybe you want to, resolicit for funds to refurbish a school, or you want to do something to lighten up an area, or you want to do a project to help the poor, the sick, and you want us to focus on the widow. Yes, you can always work and partner with me. So I also do things like that. What I normally do is I would work with experts around me, experts that are actually medical experts, construction experts, or you know finance experts to support. So that's what I normally do. So please ask your question, Larry. If it's in terms of application, you're looking to follow up your application with Lincoln, please don't put your personal ID on this public chat because everyone can see your details. You can as well email me or my work email, or my work email is yourgettingbe@lincoln.ac.uk. So you can check me out, or once you go on lincoln.ac.uk, you would see my details. I'm more of a public person. I'm private in terms of personal life, but in terms of work, work, passion, vision, I'm public at that aspect. So you can always get my work email publicly, message me, and then yeah, I will check your application for you. I'll follow up, and yeah, and if you want to follow up your cast, very much happy to do that for you. So yes, so I'm going to be rounding up on my show. I've actually passed more than 1 hour because I was trying to answer questions. Please, as I mentioned, a closed mouth is a closed destiny. Don't close your mouth when you need support. Make sure you ask questions. Make sure you seek advice. While you're seeking advice, don't be too carried away as well, because not everyone are actually very good at answering your questions. You also need to look at those you're asking those questions from. Surround yourself with positive people or people with positive mind. Surround yourself with great minds. When I mean surround yourself with great minds, when you're coming to study, look at who you pick as your friend. Look at who you pick for advice. If you're going to be meeting a friend who is maybe a friend who is also studying like you, know that that person, or look at that person and see that that person is someone who is outgoing, willing to learn, willing to make research, so that they can actually influence you positively. If you do that, the sky will be your limit. So please adhere to the laws. Remember, they are unwritten rules. Don't play with the laws of the land. I shared to you a particular student who is now in trouble because they worked in care home, they didn't report an incident, and now it's landed the students in a very critical state. This is not a forged story. If you go on Google, the story is everywhere. It's everywhere. When you're at work, don't flex muscles. If you're supposed to do a job with 3 people, please wait for your colleagues and do it together. Sometimes your colleague will say, "We push you." to do the work, knowing well that you could be in danger. Don't be too quick to run to it. Relax, be calm. One thing I do encourage, draw the positive energy, be calm, take things slowly, relax. If you're working in a care home, you need to support a patient with someone, wait for the person to be ready and then work with that person. If you don't have any clue of what you're doing, ask question. Don't prove like, oh, if I do this thing, if I don't do this thing very well, they will think I don't know what I'm doing. They will think I'm not just a person. Nobody cares about that here. Trust me, nobody cares. Because when you land into trouble, you will be the only one bearing that cross. So if there's a need for you to ask questions when you're working in a care home or working in any organ, in fact, it's not just only care home. There's some organizations you work. Let's say, for instance, you're working in a food company. You are part of the packaging team, and then one of the food pods, nobody was there, and then you pick up the food, you pack it back, and then pack it in, and that food is sold to somebody else, and it caused maybe diarrhea or it caused food poisoning, and the person lost their life. Do you know that they can trace that food? They will do a test on the food. They will trace the company that provided the food. They will look at the batch number. If there's a batch, they might not actually know batch number, because some people are very good. When they eat a food, they keep the pack. If luckily or unlucky for that person, they keep the batch of the food and they trace those products and when it was produced. Everything is recorded here. And then they now look for those people that worked on that day. Who was the person packaging at that time? It could put other people into trouble. So you can see that the system is very organized here in the UK. Not only in the UK, the system is organized in the US, organized in Canada. Everyone have their rules. So please follow law, abide by it, and the sky will be your limit, and you will not fall into any trouble. If there's anything you feel you're doing and your work it isn't going well, or maybe it might land you into trouble, call, ask for help. Don't keep to yourself. Ask for help from people. And once you're able to do that, you wouldn't have any problem progressing in your life or progressing in the new environment you find yourself. So thank you so much, guys. I so much appreciate you for staying with me and for believing in me. Thank you so much. I do encourage you. My show is not only for intending students. If you are in the UK, this show is also good for you. Don't forget, it's a way of us sharing ideas. If you have an idea, feel free to put that on the live chat so that we can all read it and learn from it. And as well, this video will be very much available on YouTube. You can always go back and refer to it if you want to copy some of the links, you want to copy some of the website pages where you can get opportunities. Please go back to it. And next week, I will share with you one of a very good story, a positive and inspiring story from one of a very good and lovely woman. She is a biomedical scientist. She will be here live, or she'll be on YouTube live with me on Sunday, and she would share with you how she was able to get a job from Nigeria to the UK. So it's not only for Nigerians, this show is open for Asians. If you're from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Ghana, Kenya, Malawi, Uganda, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Sao Tome, any European country, please attend next week Sunday. It's going to be fun. I'm also going to have a live, a calling WhatsApp calling. So for the next week poster, I'm going to put in the phone number you can call in, the show number you can actually call in on WhatsApp. So you call in on WhatsApp, you ask your question, you also give your own contribution if you want to. So I do encourage you, don't miss out. Don't be the only one listening to this show. Share to your friends. As I mentioned, the sky is so big enough for everyone. Don't be the only one to say, I want to be the only one to go abroad in my family. I want to be the only one to go abroad among my friends. Share this to everyone so that they can learn from it. Thank you so much for staying tuned. I love you all. Please remember to subscribe to Peel Empowerment with Yeti TV. Like and share. Click on the notification bell. Follow me on Instagram at Ogedengbe Yetunde. Also, follow me on Facebook, YQ Blog. And stay tuned and be positive. Thank you so much, and I wish you a lovely evening ahead. Love you all and goodbye.
You get everybody staring for days.